1. In designing a training program for new Certified Treasury Professionals, CTPs, which principle of adult learning ensures that learners can apply the knowledge to real workplace scenarios? A. Rote memorization. B. Experiential relevance. C. Teacher-centered lectures. D. Scripted repetition. 2. A treasury manager mentoring a junior analyst emphasizes collaborative problem-solving in cash forecasting. This approach reflects which mentoring technique? A. Directive correction. B. Facilitative guidance. C. Passive observation. D. Instructional dominance. 3. When evaluating the effectiveness of a CTP training module on regulatory compliance, which method best measures long-term retention? A. Immediate post-training quiz. B. Role-play scenarios months later. C. Instructor self-assessment. D. End-of-day survey. 4. In curriculum development for a CTP preparation course, which step ensures alignment between objectives, content, and assessments? A. Backward design. B. Content listing. C. Random sequencing. D. Subjective delivery. 5. A CTP mentor notices that their mentee prefers working with practical simulations rather than theoretical models. Which adult learning principle does this preference highlight? A. Abstract reasoning. B. Self-directed learning. C. Experiential learning. D. Passive listening. 6. When teaching regulatory compliance standards, which instructional strategy most effectively ensures transfer of knowledge to practice? A. Reading dense policy manuals. B. Repeated memorization drills. C. Case-based discussions. D. Instructor-centered lecture. 7. In evaluating a CTP program, which metric best assesses communication skills improvement among participants? A. Percentage of test questions answered correctly. B. Number of case studies reviewed. C. Peer feedback on clarity in presentations. D. Instructor lecture hours delivered. 8. A CTP trainer introduces a reflective journal for learners to document how risk management strategies could apply in their current roles. This method enhances A. Cognitive overload. E. Reflective practice. C. Surface-level recall. D. Passive observation. 9. During mentoring, a senior treasury professional provides constructive feedback using the sandwich method. This communication approach involves A. Direct criticism without framing. B. Positive feedback, criticism, positive reinforcement. C. Negative feedback only. D. Neutral observation without commentary. 10. A training program for Treasury professionals includes regulatory updates every quarter. This inclusion represents which curriculum design principle? A. Static content delivery. B. Continuous content renewal. C. One-time evaluation. D. Learner isolation. 11. To evaluate the success of a cash management module, which method ensures the program's effectiveness aligns with corporate performance goals? A. Randomized testing. B. Benchmarking against key performance indicators. C. Instructor opinion survey. D. General knowledge test. 12. When mentoring a CTP candidate, asking open-ended questions like, "How would you manage liquidity risk in this scenario?" promotes A. Rote memorization. B. Critical thinking. C. Passive recall. D. Superficial engagement. 13. A key challenge in curriculum development for adult learners in Treasury is ensuring A. Materials are lengthy and exhaustive. B. Learners are given self-directed opportunities. C. Assessments are strictly multiple choice. D. Instructors maintain control over all decisions. 14. A CTP trainer who adapts their communication style to match the preferred learning modes of participants demonstrates. A. Rigid instruction. E. Learner-centered flexibility. C. Instructor dominance. D. Standardized monotony. 15. Which evaluation method best measures the mentoring effectiveness of a senior Treasury professional? A. Number of sessions completed. B. Mentee's progression in independent decision-making. C. Hours of mentoring logged. D. Mentor satisfaction ratings. 16. When aligning CTP curriculum with regulatory standards, the most critical instructional design step is A. Prioritizing instructor preferences. B. Mapping objectives to compliance requirements, including as much content as possible. D. Using identical assessments for all learners. 17. A Treasury professional designing a training workshop emphasizes group projects where learners solve real-world problems together. This strategy fosters A. Individual competition. E. Collaborative learning. C. Memorization drills. D. Passive note-taking. 18. A communication skill-building activity for Treasury professionals should focus on A. Repetitive textbook reading. E. Realistic role-play exercises. C. Isolated self-study. D. Sole reliance on written quizzes. 19. In adult learning, ensuring that learners can immediately apply knowledge gained about global payment systems in their daily work supports A. Experiential relevance. E. Abstract theory. C. Instructor control. D. Passive listening. 20. A regulatory compliance module integrates formative assessments throughout the course. The primary purpose of formative evaluation is to A. Certify final competency. B. Provide ongoing feedback. C. Replace summative testing. D. Grade learners strictly. 21. During a mentoring session, the mentor provides examples of past Treasury challenges and how they were solved. This teaching strategy is known as A. Abstract theorizing. B. Storytelling. C. Directive criticism. D. Memorization drills. 22. To ensure regulatory compliance training remains effective, evaluations should focus on A. Participants' ability to recall specific laws only. B. Organizational improvements and compliance outcomes. C. Instructors' teaching preferences. D. The number of regulations covered. 23. In curriculum development, which practice ensures fairness and inclusivity in the CTP program? A. Ignoring learner diversity. B. Designing with accessibility in mind. C. Prioritizing only one learning style. D. Using uniform instruction regardless of need. 24. An effective mentor uses active listening when communicating with mentees. Active listening involves A. Interrupt infrequently. E. Summarizing and reflecting what the mentee says. C. Giving immediate corrective advice. D. Remaining silent throughout. 25. A CTP trainer introduces a peer teaching segment where learners present on topics such as liquidity management. This activity strengthens A. Memorization. B. Communication skills. C. Instructor authority. D. Passive participation. 26. The best way to evaluate the effectiveness of a mentoring program in Treasury management is to A. Count the number of mentoring sessions. B. Assess mentees' advancement in applying Treasury concepts. C. Ask mentors to complete satisfaction forms. D. Measure session attendance rates. 27. In regulatory compliance training, which evaluation technique best determines whether learning has transferred to the workplace? A. Written test scores. B. Observation of job performance improvements. C. Instructor feedback forms. D. Learner self-reports only. 28. An adult learning curriculum for CTP candidates that begins with learners' existing knowledge and builds progressively reflects: A. Linear memorization. B. Scaffolding. C. Passive teaching. D. Instructor dominance. 29. Effective communication in CTP training is demonstrated when an instructor: A. Uses complex jargon exclusively. B. Adjusts explanations for clarity. C. Speaks continuously without pause. D. Avoids interaction with learners. 30. When designing a curriculum for cash management, which step ensures learners remain motivated and engaged? A. Providing immediate relevance to workplace problems. E. Delaying real-world applications until final sessions. C. Requiring rote memorization before practice. D. Limiting learner participation. 31. A mentor who encourages reflection by asking, "What would you do differently if given another chance to manage this cash flow issue?" is fostering: A. Directive instruction. B. Reflective practice. C. Passive recall. D. Standardized response. 32. Evaluation methods in Treasury training that include both quantitative scores and qualitative feedback measures demonstrate: A. Narrow assessment focus. B. Comprehensive evaluation. C. Instructor bias. D. Learner neglect.